Hey, good morning. So I was kind of waiting till I was on flatter terrain to start yapping about the day. I've been climbing for a little while. I don't know. I'm starting to think that I am not understanding the elevation gain because other people say things and I'm like, but that's not what I'm saying. So I think maybe I'm reading. This is so cool, right? Is spider web with moisture. Can you tell if I stop moving? Anyway, I think it's so cool all over the place. But I do believe I am walking in a cloud and it's just so cool and peaceful and I love it. So I had to open up the phone and start the day with this video. Although I did see evidence that the sun may try and come out. Maybe once I walk through this cloud. Anywho, so I started from, I actually remembered to look, Curly Maple Shelter at 348.8, mile 348.8. And I am trying to get to, or the plan is, to get to Clyde Smith Shelter, which is, I don't know, once I looked, I thought it was 22, then it was 23, I have no idea. But it is a long day, and I know I said I wasn't going to do long days, but the shelter thing is changing, and primarily because the trail is being rerouted due to hurricane damage. And obviously, a temporary reroute, they're not going to go building shelters, right? So I think I've talked about this. So anyway, in an effort to get to an actual shelter, because yet again, talking about thunderstorms at night, I'm just pushing. Plus, a bunch of the people that were at the shelter last night are shooting for the same, and that really was, oh my goodness. I don't know if I mentioned it last night, but it was one of the best nights I've spent on the trail. The people were just such good people, just so fun and joy-filled, and after the horrific find in the shelter. But see, those two, Milkshake and Ratatouille, who were on the cleanup crew, like they stepped right up and did it. That shows you the character of the people like what I'm trying to tell you. Just so wonderful. They're like, this is wrong. We're going to do something about it. And everybody was willing to step up and help, but they seemed to, Milkshake had the Ziploc bag and Ratatouille found the shovel. Anyway, so great. So, yeah. So I probably crawled into my sleeping bag around 8:30. And as I was drifting off to sleep, Giddy Up he had this like small guitar. It was almost like the shape of a ukulele, but it wasn't a ukulele. It was just a small guitar, I think. And he was playing very softly, just singing softly. Beautiful. Songs I didn't know, but they were so beautiful. And it was like the most peaceful way to drift off. Well, just a minute or two before 9, I grabbed my phone because I thought, what would be awesome is if I could catch him, right? Singing just in the darkness, because the phone wouldn't film the dark, but just catch him singing. You could hear it through the dark image. But just as I got that into motion, he said, well, that's it. I'm going to call it a night. So he and Reed were still at the fire at that point. Reed is his given name. Still looking for or waiting on a trail name. Good people, good people. Then there was this guy, Rusty, and this guy, Pony. He was downright hysterical. He used a phrase I've not heard before. He wrote in the journal, yes, I'm going uphill, sorry. He wrote in the journal about our find in the shelter, and he said, you know, this is not cash money. And I burst out laughing. I've never heard it said that way. Now, maybe that's a common term now, and I just haven't heard it, but it struck me so funny. It made me laugh so hard. And then there was Mike and Miles, that's father-son team. Miles was so wonderful. He, 26-year-old, out on an adventure with his dad, making memories. Heart is overflowing right now thinking about that. That is just so beautiful. And all the trees were, they were so tall, and the branches were so high, and I did not think I was going to be able to get my rope over any of the tall branches. So Miles helped me, and then he threw it, kind of got stuck, but he didn't, not stuck, it just, his line was there, and I think it was just, not sliding through because it was rubbing against their line, his father's and his. And so he did not give up. He messed with it until I was able, he actually jumped for it, because at one point he literally had to jump for it to get it where I could reach it and put my bag on. And just such a good kid. And he actually initially offered to allow me to just attach my stuff to his bear line. But my bag is full, fresh resupply, so much food, weighed so much. I said, it's okay. If you'll help me throw my line, I'm happy to, have my own bear line. So he did. Okay, this is cool. I'm in some kind of meadow. I don't know if you can see that. I'm like on 0.5. I don't know if it gets any. Oh yeah, I guess it does. I'm on, look at this. So the entire bald, if you will, they call the mountaintops bald. So I think it's just, we're above tree line, although there's some trees, obviously. But look at this. It's, I don't know. I don't think it's focused when I go that close up. But it's all these, right? As far as the eye can see. It's incredible. Just beautiful. Even hazy, even walking through a cloud. I just can't even. This trail is just always so beautiful. Anyway, so who else was there? I think that's it. Giddy Up Reed, Rusty, Miles, and Mike. Mike is Eminem for Mike and Miles. Miles didn't want a trail name. His name is probably quite appropriate anyway. Then there's, of course, Ratatouille and Milkshake. And Pony. I think that was it. Anyway, so great. And I really do hope I see these guys at the next shelter. All of them. Because they were all just wonderful. Did I tell you about Ratatouille? His name? I may have just told my family in my morning update to them, but so his name is because he brings all this food and actually makes truly almost gourmet meals on the trail, right? He literally has a 9-pound base weight. Remember in my gear video, I called people like that a psycho? Okay, he's not a psycho, but not at all. Nicest guy from Germany, actually. Here on a 6-month visa to get the trail done. So, some hikers. Hello. Enjoy. Yeah, thank you. You know what? They're U.S. forestry people. I saw the truck at the last road crossing. So, Ratatouille has 9-pound base weight, but he carries a 44-pound pack. The rest is food. He had a 2-pound ham and kielbasa. Anyway, he knows it's too heavy. He's like, hey, who wants ham? He's willing to share. Milkshake too. She's carrying 38 pounds because of her food. And she's like, just eating. That's what you do, right? Like eating. To try and get the pack weight down. I'm almost like, why do we buy the food if all we're going to do is gorge ourselves? But we need the calories. So it actually works. Speaking of resupply, something yesterday that I wanted to say. So so we go to resupply, right? And of course, any packaging, and I learned this, by the way, from reading a post on the AT Through Hiker 2025 Facebook page. Someone was commenting that it wasn't a through hiker, they had met a through hiker in front of a resupply place and were watching him, you know, like reorganize the food, right? And I almost have to wonder if I would have thought of it. I'm so reading, you learn to read well. There is nothing you can't know or do. Love it. Plug for reading. Okay, so, and don't be fresh like my third born who goes, Mom, there's a YouTube video for everything. Stop it. Learn to read well. Okay, so it said that he just started reorging. He was ripping open all the packaging, throwing out the bulky stuff. And that is absolutely true. So yesterday, I get home from the grocery store and I'm sitting at a table and I've got all these baggies and that I've accumulated. Haven't bought any or brought any. They're just like other things were wrapped in them. And so, oh, look, we're coming out of the cloud. And so all the bulky packaging that the manufacturers put the food in, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's one to make it look like more, or also to keep the integrity, right? Like my ramen noodles, they're probably crushed right now because I took the hard box and the plastic off of it and threw it into the bread bag that I was no longer using. And I took my Oreos out of the plastic tray and the plastic covering and threw them into a bag, and there's like nothing. So they're going to be crumbs, but you're going to lose the integrity of the product, but it takes so much weight out, right? I took, obviously, throughout the box and threw all my Cliff Bars into the pack. I don't know. I'm not going to try and remember and waste time telling you this, but you get the point, right? You repackage everything into its smallest possible form. I'm hoping, I've strategically placed my ramen. These are not top ramen, okay? These are quality ramen that I got at the grocery store. They came in a 4-pack. But like I said, I took all the bulky packaging off, so now they're just sitting in a bread bag. And, if I press down too hard on my pack while I'm packing it, those ramen could be nothing. Well, then you know what you do? I'm going to break them up anyway. Just shake as much as you want into your pot and use it, right? So anyway, but you reduce it down to its absolute smallest form. All the outer packaging goes, right? And it's really great and takes a lot of the weight and the bulk out, but... Anyway, so yeah, Milkshake realizes that she has too much food too. Did I tell you? So I met Milkshake and Ratatouille for the first time at Uncle Johnny's. And they were saying, like, she goes, do you know what your pack weighs with food and everything? I said, I haven't weighed it, no. And she's like, oh, they got a hanging scale. I love the hanging scale. I feel like they're the most accurate, right? So I said, oh, they do? Where? So I wanted to find out. And then I said to her, do I really want to know? Or will it actually just depress me completely? I said, no, I really want to know. So, and she's saying, because I can't believe it. I actually got lighter weight gear. I swapped it out and my pack is still 38 pounds and whatever. And so that's when I learned that Ratatouille's was 9 base weight with 44. Oh my gosh. So, and I'm thinking to myself, Ratatouille, like, what don't you have that I have that gets you down to 9 pounds? But whatever. Okay. Probably not, face-specific sunscreen, facial wash, very specific moisturizer. He probably doesn't have a nail file, maybe not even nail clippers. Okay, I will blame my toiletry bag for excess weight, but not 9 pounds worth. So, okay. Yeah, so I packed up my pack. And the only thing I didn't include was what I was wearing, my rain jacket, and my water. Because water, up and down. And it was 29.9, which is exactly what I had planned to, start my hike with and plan to carry along the way. So after a fresh resupply, I was still at 29.9. I was very pleased with that. And if I've told you this story, I'm so sorry. Mile 18 in a marathon. That's the brain I have right now. Mile 18 in a marathon. I've been saying that so much. I'm like, lucky I still know my name as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Oh, look, this is to keep animals out. Hogs, I don't know, something. But now we have to pay attention and go, which way is the trail? Now see, my instinct says that way, but do you see what I have to contend with? Not a blaze to be found. Why? Why? Well, you know what it's going to do for you? Make me stop this video and stop blathering on, because now I have to look it up. So I shall. And I'll be back when there's more to report. Isn't this just a look at this right here. Is this not the most beautiful shot? Even on the gloomier days, the trail is just so beautiful. Okay, until later. I've been walking through, the path led through all these trees like this, and it's just so cool. They're all like exactly the same, right? And all of a sudden I'm just like, this is just too cool not to capture. Gosh. So green. I'm about to summit whatever mountain this is, and I have a feeling the sun is out there waiting for me. Can't wait. Here we go. I'd take you along, but might be a while. So if there's something spectacular to see, I'll fire up the phone again. Well, the sun sure did come out. What a glorious day. So I don't want to get too bouncy. I'm afraid I might be. I'm on like hard packed mud right now with some rocks and stuff. We were just put on the reroute. Hurricane damage was just too severe throughout the actual AT route. So this is now the official route because it's a reroute. Other people are paying better attention than I am. I knew they said we were going to be on a road walk. And in my mind, I pictured like a paved road with maybe white or yellow lines in the middle of it, right? I am thrilled that I am on a dirt road. I don't know if this is like an access road. And obviously, this can change. I don't know where this could just be, they reroute us to an access road, which is then going to take us to a paved road. I don't know. It remains to be seen. But this is, again, why we don't have the shelters available. But somehow, I think somebody said it's about 5 miles. And then it, I guess, puts us right back onto the original route, right? So that's why I can get to a shelter tonight. I just have to traverse a bit longer than maybe I want to. I'm not going to say more than I usually do, because I actually usually do this, don't I? I just have lately been thinking, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just do a little bit less? But I actually don't mind. I love doing the big miles. I really do. The only thing I don't like, of course, is the getting into camp late. Now, okay, there's my white blazes telling me something's changed, something's different. Oh yeah, okay. So I am just, all it means is I'm turning here. Okay. So, more gravel, which is nice. I don't know, if I do 5 miles of gravel, I mean, any other day I might call it dull, but it's change scenery. A little easier on the legs, maybe. A little break. How nice. I might be able to make up some lost time because when I set out, I thought, okay, I can get to, let's say 7:30. I thought I would get there 11 hours, right? So, no, 10 hours. So, no, 11 hours. Okay, Karen, do you even have a clue what you're talking about? No, it's mile 18 in a marathon. Anyway, okay, so, yeah, anyway, my brain thought I was going to get there at 7. And then I was doing really well because I was making good time going down the hills. Then I was like, oh, I'm 6:30. And then, oh, a whole bunch of exciting stuff happened. And because of that exciting stuff, I got delayed. And then I was like 6:45. But this might just make it go down a bit because I think I can handle a gravel road with a pretty steady, quick pace. So let me tell you about the exciting stuff. Okay, a few road crossings ago, we got a little bit of trail magic. There's a guy, his name is BT. He has been doing that spot, doing trail magic for 10 years. He said he has met thousands upon thousands of through hikers. And today he had hot drinks and cold drinks. I did not get the list of cold drinks because I was more leaning towards the hot drinks. It was either hot chocolate, hot cider, or tea. I had hot chocolate. And then he had brownies or pumpkin bread. And I picked the pumpkin bread. And it was delicious. And you know what? We chatted. He was very interested in hearing about our lives and whatever. And then we signed his book and moved on. So it was quick. So then, I was with Reed, Giddy Up, and Portal. Now, Portal had been ahead of me. Reed and Giddy Up were just a little bit ahead of me because they just got a later start. And then we all were at the same place. But then now they've blown way past me. Now, you know what? It's okay. They're half my age. They should be faster than me. So then, because I'm pokey, I got another bonus. I actually met Miss Janet. Now, you probably don't know who she is unless you're familiar with the AT, but she's a shuttle driver. She's a trail angel, and she's kind of famous. Like on the AT, she's wicked famous. Miss Janet. I've been hearing about Miss Janet for 20 years, I think. I really need to Google how long she's been doing this because it is forever. And I got to meet her. She was dropping off some hikers at a road crossing. I just happened to be right there, and she offered me some snacks, but I'm so loaded up with food right now. I politely declined, but I told her I would love a picture because she's famous, and she said, I'm infamous. And I said, either way. And then I said, something again. And she goes, don't believe everything you hear. And I said, oh, it's all good, girl. So anyway, it was really exciting. I got a picture. I'll be, of course, sharing that. So those things slowed me down a little, which then made the clock seem like it was going to be later. But this might, as I say, pick it up a bit. So I just wanted to show you the reroute, especially people who are thinking maybe next year they want to do this. And that's if it's still like this. We don't know. I don't know. Maybe by next year they'll have the original AT ready to go again. I don't know. So when I did come out of the woods, after I said, look at these trees. It's so cool. The whole forest was like this. When I got up to the top, it was just sad because it was all blowdowns and just, it was really sad. So I did not take more footage of that. But, yeah, it's just obvious this area got hard hit. But good people are putting it back together. And nature, as I say, nature, it always looks out for itself. Look at this, right? See? Look at these. I mean, you know what? It's like if they weren't like 200 feet tall, it would be like a potted plant that tipped over. It's just crazy. Yeah. But that's all what it is. Just trees that just ripped right out of the ground and are laying down now. And you go, how is that even possible? But, okay. But it sure did turn into a nice day. And it never rained. It's a long ways to go. I've got about 5 hours, 4.5 maybe. So I suppose the weather can change. So far, so good though. All right. Before you get all dizzy from my bouncing, I'll put an end to this. Bye-bye.